Tonight, 14 years after her murder, a suspect now in custody.
I hope that this step or this announcement yesterday can bring a little peace.
Gatineau police arrest and charge a 51-year-old Gatineau man with first-degree murder in the violent death of teenager Valérie Leblanc. A gas leak in Findlay Creek this afternoon forced evacuations.
We pretty much knew when the fire trucks left their station that it was a gas line or something.
And Bank Street to temporarily close in both directions. We are live from the scene. And remembering one of the world's best-known animal advocates.
I want to be remembered for having helped people to understand the true nature of animals, that they do matter as individuals.
Dr. Jane Goodall, a conservationist and environmentalist who knew everything there was to know about chimpanzees but loved her dogs best of all, dies at 91. Good evening. We begin tonight with a major breakthrough in a years-long murder investigation. Police making an arrest in a cold case that gripped the capital region. 18-year-old Valérie Leblanc was murdered in 2011, and now, 14 years later, a Gatineau man is facing a charge of first-degree murder. CTV's Austin Lee joins us live with the details. Austin.
Well, Patricia, Valérie Leblanc's body was discovered in the woods behind the Gabriel Roy campus of Cégep de l'Outaouais in August of 2011. And investigators now think they know what happened to her.
It was here 14 years ago that 18-year-old Valérie Leblanc's body was found. She had been badly beaten and burned. The brutal attack sending shockwaves through the community.
It's a horrible thing that happened right there.
I have a young son who's only 12, so that definitely is something that hits home.
Gatineau police say since 2011, investigators have remained hard at work on the case.
The work that was done 14 years ago and throughout the years, and especially the last weeks, were very professional. Everybody was dedicated.
That dedication leading to the arrest of 51-year-old Stéphane Rivard of Gatineau, charged with first-degree murder.
I hope that this step or this announcement yesterday can bring a little peace to the family and people surround close to the family.
The breakthrough coming 14 years after the murder and after police released this sketch of a suspect. Since then, investigators have sifted through more than 2,300 tips from the public.
The homicide itself shook Gatineau, shook Ottawa, Gatineau region. You know what? It shook all the police organization. Everybody was talking about that homicide. Everybody in the community wanted us to have some steps, some big announcement.
Rivard made his first court appearance Wednesday morning. For longtime Gatineau residents, they hope his arrest will provide some kind of closure to Leblanc's family.
The important thing is that they did find someone, and that it'll bring some peace of mind to family and friends.
Rivard's next court appearance is set for October 21st. Police say this remains an open investigation, and anyone who has any information that has not yet come forward is urged to do so. Patricia.
CTV's Austin Lee live for us tonight. Thank you. Well, turning now to developing news out of the Findlay Creek area, emergency crews are still on the scene of a gas leak that forced local businesses to evacuate and led to some major traffic delays this afternoon. The leak was reported around 2:15 along Bank Street between Leitrim Road and Rotary Way. CTV's Dylan Dyson is on the scene and joins us now with the latest. Dylan.
Patricia, gas crews will be working late into the night out here in Ottawa's south end after what appeared to be a significant gas leak. Ottawa police had to close off Bank Street in both directions and evacuated businesses and residents between Leitrim Road and Rotary Way. A gas leak had occurred in a construction area along Bank Street. It was thought that the main gas line had been damaged, leading Ottawa Fire to think that closures and evacuations would extend into tomorrow. Heavy equipment had been on top of that line blocking it, but once that machinery was able to be moved, crews found it was actually a high-pressure line that had been hit. That was able to be clamped off much quicker than anticipated. But still, after bursting the leak mid-afternoon, it certainly made for an uncertain and chaotic few hours for those here in the area.
I went and spoke to the police officer just to find out. We pretty much knew when the fire trucks left their station that it was a gas line or something to go on with the construction. But we have never seen the traffic like this on Leitrim, ever.
It's pretty crazy.
Road closures have reopened, and Ottawa Fire says that those that were evacuated are able to return to their homes and businesses, and Bridge Gas is expected to remain here on site doing work late into the evening. Patricia.
All right, glad that was all resolved so quickly. Thanks for this, Dylan. CTV's Dylan Dyson live for us tonight. Well, there are now just 2 supervised drug consumption sites in the city. Ottawa Public Health was forced to shut down its location in the Byward Market today after the province refused to provide the necessary approval. CTV's Stephen Keys joins us now with more on this. Steph.
Patricia, because the site is run by OPH, it needs the support of Ontario's health minister to apply for a federal exemption under the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act, which allows it to operate. The deadline to receive that endorsement was yesterday, but it came and went with no endorsement, meaning the site was forced to close today. The one we're talking about is located at 179 Clarence Street, which is also where Ottawa Public Health operates its sexual health clinic. It was one of 3 supervised consumption sites in the city. The Somerset West Community Health Centre in Chinatown was forced to close earlier this year after the provincial government passed legislation banning the sites near schools and daycares. This one in the Byward Market was the least visited site in the city, with 33,000 visits since it opened in 2017. Now, just 240 meters away, the one operated by Inner City Health has had more than 300,000 visits. Still, Ottawa Public Health is calling the closure disappointing.
We're concerned about the overdoses in the community. We're concerned that people are still continuing to overdose in high numbers. We're working with partners, and we're doubling down on our outreach efforts in the lower town, center town, Byward Market areas, outreach to find people who are at risk of overdose and hopefully get them naloxone or treatment that they can survive.
Again, there are now just 2 supervised consumption sites in the city. Both are located in and around the Byward Market. The Trailer 2.0 at the Shepherds of Good Hope on Murray Street is probably the best well-known, and the Sandy Hill Community Health Centre on Nelson Street. Now, we reached out to the provincial health minister's office for comment, asking why she did not grant the endorsement, but have not heard back. Patricia.
CTV's Stephen Keys live for us tonight. Thank you. Still ahead, doors open day and night. An Ottawa realtor attempting to hold the world's longest open house with a marathon event this weekend. That story coming up. Well, here's a live look now through our Centennial Glass sky cam. It is 16 degrees in Ottawa tonight. Lots of sunshine through the day today. It will be disappearing soon. For the evening, as we can anticipate a frost advisory overnight, as we take a look at your weather picture. Clear skies and cool tonight. Mainly sunny tomorrow and for the next few days. A lot of sunshine on the way. A really beautiful start to October. We don't have any significant rain in the forecast until Tuesday. So more sunshine on Friday and on the weekend. Frost is the only thing to be concerned about overnight tonight. So if you haven't yet, you may want to bring in those plants. But you'll find it hard to believe when you see some of our temperatures over the next few days. Tomorrow, we'll see it get to 18 degrees by about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Right now in the capital, we're just a couple of degrees below that, 16 degrees, and the sun, as you saw, still shining out there now. Well, turning now to a frightening scene in the Montreal area. 1 person is dead and 2 others are injured after a shooting at a Starbucks in broad daylight. It happened around 10:30 this morning in Laval, in a busy area with several other businesses nearby. A man in his 40s was killed and 2 others suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Quebec's public safety minister says the shooting was targeted and linked to organized crime, adding no bystanders were injured.
The situation is under control. It is safe, but don't come here to see what's happening.
And anything on a suspect at all that you can share?
I have no information about this for now.
There are no suspects in custody this evening. Quebec's Provincial Police Service is now leading the investigation. One of the world's most prominent scientists, Jane Goodall, has died of natural causes at the age of 91. Goodall's love of wildlife and research fueled a lifelong passion for chimpanzees and the environment, even inspiring the Jane Goodall Institute of Canada. CTV's Andrew Johnson looks back at the remarkable life of the conservationist.
When a young British woman with a childhood love of primates but little scientific training traveled to Tanzania in 1960, she changed the way we look at chimpanzees.
When I got to Cambridge finally, they were totally horrified. I'd named the chimps instead of numbering them. I talked about them having personalities. I talked about them having minds and being able to have rational thoughts and emotions, happiness, sadness, fear. And all of these things were supposed to be attributes only of humans.
Jane Goodall also found the chimps, like humans, used tools. She incorporated their distinct personalities and family relationships into her work.
Being out in the wild, you know, back when I dreamed of it, there was nobody doing anything like that.
Goodall considered it her lifelong quest to protect the planet.
We've got a window of time, I believe, to start slowing down climate change, loss of biodiversity, to alleviate poverty, to bring to an end the terrible industrial farming, especially of animals, to try and persuade the very wealthy to be a little more considerate of the future.
Goodall married twice and had one son. In 2003, she was appointed a Dame of the British Empire, and she received the U.S. Presidential Medal of Freedom in 2025.
I want to be remembered for having helped people to understand the true nature of animals, that they do matter as individuals.
Well into old age, Goodall was on the road hundreds of days a year, speaking up for animals and the environment, trying to empower people to do their bit, as she called it, believing millions of people making small changes can make a huge difference. Andrew Johnson, CTV News, Vancouver.
The City of Ottawa and the federal government are at odds again over a section of Wellington Street in the city's downtown core. It comes after a proposal to shut it down to vehicles was brought up at the National Capital Commission meeting last week. The section of Wellington Street in question is between Elgin and Kent, right in front of Parliament Hill. CTV's Kimberly Fowler joins us with more. Kimberly.
Well, Patricia, in this jurisdictional showdown, the federal government wants to take ownership of the street, but the city says no dice.
Oh, you have to come to her workshop.
Christina Murray is the owner and co-founder of Capital Art Fair Gallery Co-op on Spark Street in downtown Ottawa.
Having seen other big cities in the world at this caliber, we have our architecture and so many great businesses on the Strip, that I think turning it into a pedestrian destination would ultimately benefit us all.
The federal government is once again looking at taking over this section of Wellington Street and closing it off to traffic. It's just outside Parliament Hill and 1 block north of Murray's store.
I think the impacts would be beneficial to our local businesses.
The potential closure of Wellington Street has been a discussion since the so-called Freedom Convoy in January of 2022.
If they want to prevent another convoy, I think the police service has demonstrated that they can, with the right plans in place, that situation will not repeat itself.
Despite an offer from the federal government to buy it and keep it permanently closed for safety concerns, the city reopened the road to traffic in April of 2023.
If they want to enhance security in the hill, or if they want to include the buildings on Wellington Street as part of their security footprint, then it does make sense to close Wellington to reduce the risks and mitigate any risks of any potential vehicle-borne explosives approaching some of those buildings.
A new proposal during a National Capital Commission meeting last week has reignited talks for a closure to vehicles, illustrating scenarios with and without Gatineau's tram running along Wellington Street. Mayor Mark Sutcliffe says the city isn't interested in selling or closing it down, and after years of discussion, some local businesses just want a plan in place for the future.
Sometimes conceptually, it might take many years to implement, but we are experiencing the best year for tourism than we had since 2019. So I think if we can keep building on that momentum, I think sooner rather than later would help everyone.
A spokesperson for Public Services and Procurement Canada wouldn't comment on the current state of negotiations, but in a statement to CTV News Ottawa says it remains committed in its partnership with the city in support of redeveloping Wellington Street that balances security for Parliament with the needs of the public. Patricia.
All right, CTV's Kimberly Fowler live for us tonight. Thank you. And you can scan the QR code on the bottom of your screen to link to us online or visit ctvnewsottawa.ca. We have more details on the future of Wellington Street. Well, 1 month ago, the city implemented paid on-street parking in Westboro, and today residents remain divided over the move. But it's the local business owners who are facing the bulk of the complaints. Drivers have to pay to park at nearly 700 spots along sections of Wellington Street West, Richmond Road, and as far west as Churchill Street. CTV's Tyler Fleming joins us live in studio with more. Tyler.
Patricia, nobody wants to pay for parking, right? And while many accept the change, frustration is growing over shifting rules from block to block. Alora Armitage is spending a sunny fall morning shopping in Westboro Village. Trending this month, meters.
I'm from the downtown area, so I just kind of expect to pay for parking.
At the start of September, the city implemented paid on-street parking with a 2-hour max around main roads in Westboro and Hintonburg in an effort to get more vehicles moving in and out. Residents have mixed opinions.
You kind of have to go out to Canada if you don't want to pay for parking, you know what I mean?
What the City of Ottawa does is absolutely ridiculous as far as a lot of the parking.
But it's the businesses caught in the middle.
We build envelopes to match people's needs.
At the Village Choir, owner Molly Vandershee says for her, paid parking has had little impact.
As a small business myself, my sales haven't changed. I'm fine.
But here's plenty of complaints from customers. In the area last month, the city issued around 1,300 parking tickets.
It's not too late for the city to change their mind and do a 30-minute grace period.
It's definitely causing stress for some businesses. You know, the city sends lots of FAQs and sheets for our businesses to use, but they're still taking the front line and they're still sort of taking the frustrations from people about it.
Judy Lincoln with the Westboro Village BIA says there's confusion too. Pay times change depending where you park. Here outside Happy Goat Coffee.
So this block here is from 8:30 a.m. to 7:30 p.m.
Paid parking is Monday to Saturday, just 200 meters east. Pay periods are shorter and weekends are free.
So that inconsistency is really where we're seeing the challenges. And again, it's coming down to the businesses to explain the why to the public.
What is consistent, the per-hour price of $3. And the city says this is to help manage vehicle spaces and encourage more visitor turnover. But many in Westboro say it's too soon to tell if it's helping or hurting. Patricia.
Either way, I guess you got to read the small print on the parking meter, right?
You sure do.
All right, Tyler, thank you. CTV's Tyler Fleming live for us tonight. Well, closing arguments began today in the criminal trial of a man charged in a workplace death here in Ottawa. 20-year-old Nick Chenier died on the job in Manotick back in 2023. He was electrocuted after the hedge trimmer he was using came into contact with a power line. His supervisor, Stephen Deans, is charged with criminal negligence causing death. The Crown alleges Deans failed to warn Chenier about the danger of the hydro wires. Deans has pleaded not guilty. And the lawyer representing the 23-year-old Ottawa man accused of accessing Prime Minister Carney's banking profile appeared in court today. Ibrahim Al-Hakim is charged with fraud over $5,000, unauthorized use of a computer, identity theft, and trafficking in identity information. Al-Hakim worked at an RBC branch in Ottawa. It's alleged he used the bank's IT services for criminal purposes, including unauthorized access to multiple banking profiles and fraud. Well, 2 people are dead after a crash on Highway 17 in Renfrew. OPP say a car and pickup truck collided between Cheneau Road and Bruce Street around 12:45 yesterday afternoon. The driver and passenger in the car, a 54-year-old woman and a 78-year-old woman, both died from their injuries. The driver of the pickup truck was not injured. Anyone who witnessed the crash is asked to contact the OPP. A motorcyclist is dead after a 2-vehicle crash in the Ottawa Valley. It happened on Highway 60 in Horton Township yesterday afternoon. Police say a car and motorcycle collided. The driver of the motorcycle, a 57-year-old man from Ottawa, was pronounced dead in hospital. The driver of the vehicle suffered non-life-threatening injuries. 2 people were hurt after a driver struck a construction crash truck in the city's West End yesterday morning. Emergency crews were called to the westbound lanes of Highway 417 near Panmure Road. Police say the truck was providing protection for crews who were removing pylons from the roadway. 1 worker and the driver both suffered minor injuries. The driver was charged with careless driving. And OPP are looking for witnesses after several bottles of oil were spilled onto the Queensway this morning. The spill happened near Bronson Avenue and caused significant delays earlier today. Several lanes had to be closed for cleanup. Anyone with information about the vehicle that dropped that oil is asked to contact the Ottawa detachment of the OPP. Canada Post workers holding a rally on Parliament Hill today as the strike continues. Postal workers walked off the job last week, just hours after the federal government announced sweeping changes to mail delivery. The government says the changes are financially necessary, but the union says they will lead to job cuts.
So we're here today to fight, number one, for fair public services, as well as good jobs and a sustainable post office.
Postal service is still something useful in Canada. That's still something that means a lot for not only employers, but also all Canadians, which are right now being robbed of their public service.
The rally comes on a national day of action for the Canadian Union of Postal Workers right across the country.
A lot of people have said, so if I show up at 1 o'clock in the morning, what happens? Well, you show up at 1 o'clock in the morning, same thing as if you showed up at 10 a.m. It's a marathon.
Well, just ahead, could this Ottawa real estate agent break a world record? We'll have more on his attempt to unlock a door to the history books. And here's a live look now through our Centennial Glass Skycam. 16 degrees out there in Ottawa. A beautiful evening. We do have a frost advisory tonight, but more good-looking days ahead. We'll have those details coming up.
Your morning just got a little brighter. Wake up and start your day with CTV Your Morning, and you could be $20,000 richer. Simply watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa for the daily code word. Then enter it online at ctvottawa.ca for your chance to win. Imagine what you could do with an extra $20,000. CTV Your Morning's $20,000 giveaway. Watch CTV Your Morning Ottawa, weekday morning 6 to 9.
Our popular Team of the Week segment is back. If you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, upload your video to ctvnewsottawa.ca. Would you go to an open house at 1 a.m.? Well, you may have a chance. An Ottawa real estate agent is trying to break the record for the world's longest open house, hosting a 73-hour marathon event, and it's all for a good cause. CTV's Dave Charbonneau has the details.
This is not a typical open house.
There's actually people who are breaking world records for longest open houses.
For real estate agent Lucas Smith, it's an attempt to set a world record for the longest open house, a 73-hour event.
A lot of people have said, so if I show up at 1 o'clock in the morning, what happens? Well, you show up at 1 o'clock in the morning, same thing as if you showed up at 10 a.m. It's a marathon. And that's sort of our requirement, is to have the doors open and have everything working like a regular open house for 73 consecutive hours.
The event is raising money for Make-A-Wish Canada, an organization that grants life-changing wishes for children facing critical illnesses.
Being able to raise funds locally for Make-A-Wish has been the goal of the entire event, and our corporate sponsorship that's come behind it, that's the reason, right? It's for the kids.
Fundraising for the event is through corporate sponsors, but public can also donate online as well.
Make-A-Wish Canada doesn't receive any government funding, so the only reason why we're able to grant wishes is because of amazing supporters like Lucas Smith and fundraisers like these.
And the need is growing, with thousands of children still waiting for their turn.
Even though we're granting more wishes than ever, we're still seeing more of a need than ever. Currently, we have over 3,700 kids waiting for their wish to be granted across Canada.
To keep the doors open around the clock, the team is stocked with plenty of energy boosts.
We have a ton of refreshments that will have everything from monster drinks to coffee to caffeine to anything that you could imagine for not only the team, but also people coming through.
The current record is set at 72 hours at an open house marathon in Colorado. Lucas Smith is counting on 1 hour more to break the record. The open house starts Thursday evening at 4 p.m. and ends Sunday at 5 p.m. Dave Charbonneau, CTV News.
This stretch of sunny and mild fall weather continues. Another beautiful day in the capital, but things will cool down tonight. There is a frost advisory in effect, but then temperatures will warm back up to potentially record-breaking highs later this week. As we take a full look at your forecast, you'll see some of that detail you won't believe in the 7-day forecast in terms of temperatures right across this region over the next few days. Mostly clear tonight, but again, that frost advisory to consider. It will get quite cold overnight. As we take a look at temperatures across the country right now, much cooler temperatures out east, 5 degrees in St. John's right now, 12 in Halifax. Mid-teens or so in most of Ontario, including in Ottawa right now. Toronto seeing 17 degrees, Windsor 20 degrees. As you get out west, they've had some lovely warm weather as well, although things are expected to cool off in much of Alberta and BC over the next few days. Saskatoon, 20 degrees, Regina, 24, Calgary, 18, and out in Vancouver, a mix of sun and cloud, maybe a thunderstorm, and 14 degrees. So here's what it looks like tonight in our region. Overnight lows that get close to the freezing mark. 2 degrees in Ottawa, and for many areas right around us, just a little cooler in Cornwall and Pembroke, 1 degree. Along the Seaway, a little warmer, 5 degrees. And look at that, you got a -1 on the board right there. Mont Tremblant will see negative territory overnight tonight. 2 degrees in Kemptville, 1 in Petawawa, 2 to the north of us, and a little warmer, 4 degrees in Montreal. Here's how it will warm up tomorrow, and again, the first of many consecutive days of sunshine in the capital. This is actually one of the cooler ones that we have for you, with temperatures in the high teens for most of the region, 18, 19 degrees, and sunshine right across the board. We don't really have any rain to worry about for several days, not until we get through the weekend. As we take a look at those gorgeous highs, 20 degrees in Gatineau tomorrow. Your 7-day forecast is brought to you by Davidson Hearing Aid Centers, celebrating over 80 years in family business. So 19 and sunny tomorrow, with another quite cool overnight low, very similar to tonight, 2 degrees. And then on Friday, sunny and 25 degrees, with the overnight lows warming up as well. Look at this weekend we have for you in October. A mix of sun and cloud, and 27 on Saturday, 28 degrees on Sunday. And if you want to take the extra day on Monday, it is also looking unseasonably warm.
It's really important that they start acknowledging not just the wrongs of the past. It's also important to acknowledge, what amazing work that Indigenous leaders are doing today.
Well, just ahead, we'll have more on how people across the capital mark the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation. Another live look through our Centennial Glass Sky Cam, 16 degrees on your October evening right now. Across Ottawa yesterday, the National Day for Truth and Reconciliation was marked with history, ceremony, and teaching. A day to reflect, learn, and remember the abuse suffered by Indigenous peoples and children right across Canada. CTV's Caitlin Wilson reports.
It's a walk Margaret Bryce has made before, visiting the grave of her great-grandfather, Peter Bryce, a doctor who raised alarms about the devastating conditions in residential schools, warnings that were largely ignored at the time.
If you're Canadian, you have to accept that this is what our country was. The appalling thing is that it's very difficult.
Her family's story is part of a national reckoning with the past, one that students, communities, and institutions are grappling with across the country. At the University of Ottawa, song and ceremony marked the 5th annual National Day for Truth and Reconciliation, a day to honor residential school survivors and the children who never made it home.
I think that institutions really have to start prioritizing bringing young Indigenous peoples into the conversation. It's really important that they start acknowledging not just the wrongs of the past. It's also important to acknowledge, what amazing work that Indigenous leaders are doing today.
Her grandfather, Murray Sinclair, chaired the Truth and Reconciliation Commission, issuing 94 calls to action a decade ago. And according to the nonprofit Indigenous Watchdog, only 14 have been completed to date, including the creation of this statutory holiday, also known as Orange Shirt Day.
It's not just about an orange shirt. It's really about trying to understand the truth and then doing better. And maybe it's unlearning stuff for you as an individual, or it's in your organization trying to shift things.
At the Canada Agriculture and Food Museum, reconciliation took the form of teaching, passing down culture and tradition through buffalo and moose hide scraping.
We're really hoping to kind of bring people together in that shared space, because when we find those threads of commonality, that's where we build from.
While it's a day of mixed emotions, the message is clear.
It's like us being able to share the truth, share our family's history, and so that Canadians are not forgetting about it as well.
Caitlin Wilson, CTV News.
Well, in tonight's big picture, a portion of a high-rise apartment building in New York City collapsed this morning. It happened shortly after 8 a.m. The fire department responded to a report of a gas explosion, which collapsed an incineration shaft in the 20-story building in the Bronx. Authorities say no residential units were affected, and the city's fire department says it has no reports of injuries. Now, some other stories you need to know right now. 2 more downtown office buildings are set to be converted to housing. CTV's Stephen Keys joins us now with the details on this and other stories. Steph?
Patricia, these new development plans bring the total number of office to residential conversion projects to more than a dozen in recent years. The 2 latest buildings being converted are at 77 Metcalf Street and 265 Carling Avenue. The report from commercial real estate firm CBRE says that brings Ottawa's total count of commercial buildings turned into housing to 14 since the pandemic. Motorists may want to avoid Highway 417 in the downtown area this weekend. Construction is going to close lanes in both directions for about a 1-kilometer stretch. Work will be happening between Kent and Island Park Drive, and the closure is scheduled to start at 9 o'clock Friday night and last until 5 Monday morning. Also, the LRT Line 1 will be out of service on Saturday and Sunday for planned maintenance. The full stretch of Line 1 from Tunney's Pasture to Blair Stations will be shut down. Replacement buses will be running throughout the weekend. The city says residents living near Line 1 may hear more noise over the weekend because of the maintenance work. Lines 2 and 4 will run on their normal weekend schedules. New today, Ontario is among 5 provinces increasing their minimum wage. In Ontario, minimum wage is up 40 cents, now $17.60 an hour. Wage hikes also apply to PEI, Nova Scotia, Manitoba, and Saskatchewan. Provincial officials say they have tied their increases to Canada's Consumer Price Index with the aim of supporting workers and easing affordability issues. Ottawa residents are getting new flights to 2 U.S. destinations starting next year. Porter Airlines has announced flights from Ottawa to Miami starting on January 24th and to Phoenix, Arizona starting on February 7th. Each route will fly 3 times per week. Earlier this year, Porter announced it is increasing capacity on flights from Ottawa to Grand Cayman, Puerto Vallarta, and Liberia, Costa Rica. And according to Porter's social media ads, it sounds like there could already be some seat sales on the horizon. Patricia.
Yes, absolutely. I was actually on a Porter flight earlier today, Steph, and as I was coming in, landing in Ottawa from Alberta, the captain jumped on and said, all you West Coasters, take a look at these gorgeous colors in Ottawa, because as you may know, no reds in Alberta, but we have them here and the colors are pretty much at their peak. So this is the time to get outdoors, enjoy the autumn, take those photos, and then share them with us. We would love to share some of the beauty that you are seeing as we approach the peak, both in Ottawa and Gatineau. All of your spectacular fall foliage photos. We're going to create a gallery online, and we'll put them up there when you send them to us at ottawaphotos@ctv.ca. Right there, nice and easy. Click photos and submit now. Would love to hear from you.
It is not okay to keep them in captivity for entertainment purposes.
Well, just ahead, the federal government denies a request by Marineland to send 30 beluga whales to China. More on what is next for the animals.
Get the latest live local breaking news. Sign up now for our morning and evening CTV News Ottawa newsletter. The best local content from CTV News, Your Morning Ottawa, and News Talk 580 CFRA. Get it all in one place. Sign up now at ctvnewsottawa.ca. The CTV News Ottawa newsletter is brought to you in part by CAA Business.
Well, the federal government has denied a request from Marineland to export 30 beluga whales to an aquarium in China, a decision slammed by the Ontario theme park, which says it has few options left to care for the marine animals. CTV's Heather Wright has more.
The last captive whales in Canada are behind these gates. Marineland, the zoo and amusement park near Niagara Falls, Ontario, had requested an export permit to send its 30 beluga whales to the Chimelong Ocean Kingdom in China, which today was denied by Ottawa as it would have kept the whales in captivity just on another continent.
It is not okay to keep them in captivity for entertainment purposes.
In a statement, Marineland said it was profoundly disappointed in the federal government's decision, saying it leaves them with no ability to pay for the whales' continued feeding and care. The park has not been open in more than a year and is currently up for sale. At least 20 whales have died here since 2019, and in 2021, the province said all marine mammals living here were in distress. One option for the Marineland belugas is to send them to a proposed sanctuary in Nova Scotia, but that sanctuary is not open and has yet to receive the lease and approvals necessary. Melissa Matlow with World Animal Protection is calling on politicians to do what they can to get it up and running.
I believe the sanctuary is ready to accept the whales within a year. I mean, it takes that amount of time to condition whales for transport anyway.
Today, Ontario Premier Doug Ford said the government will do what it can to find the whales a new home.
If we want these whales to survive, we have to move them somewhere.
The fisheries minister said today she is open to other options, but there aren't many easy ones. These whales cannot be released into the wild, and experts say some of them are likely not healthy enough to be moved. Heather Wright, CTV News, Niagara Falls, Ontario.
Washington confirms it is taking a stake in another business, this time a Canadian one. BNN Bloomberg's Marilla Fernandez has more.
The U.S. is taking a 5% stake in a Canadian mining company. Lithium Americas is based in Vancouver, but it's developing a lithium mine in Nevada. Lithium is a critical mineral used to make batteries for electric vehicles. Washington has started to pick up a stake in companies that it sees as critical to boosting the economy. Here are the closing numbers for the day. The Canadian dollar is down 13 cents to 71.73. West Texas Intermediate crude down to 61.39. Western Canadian Select is down over $1 to 50.39. And the TSX hit another record close, up 84 points today to 31.07. Those are your business headlines. I'm Marilla Fernandez.
Well, just ahead, we meet our Myers Team of the Week. We'll be joined in studio by synchronized figure skating team.
Dream big with Move 100. Now, dream $20,000 bigger. Starting next week, listen for your chance to win $20,000. Dream big, win bigger with Ottawa's Move 100.
Well, it is time to meet our Myers Team of the Week. Teams are invited to send us a video to describe why their group is the greatest. Tonight, we're joined in studio by the Starlight Star 6 synchronized figure skating team. Very, very cool. These skaters are dedicated to building strong skills, lasting friendships, and mastering unforgettable performances. And they're gearing up to compete in Kingston, Oakville, and hopefully the provincial championships in Hamilton this season as well. And our Team of the Week is right here in the studio. Get a chance to chat a little bit about doing that, which looks really, really tough. Lauren is here, and you've been skating for how long?
3 years now on synchro, and I've been skating since I was 8 individually.
Okay, wow. So most of the girls here are 10 to 13?
10 to 13 is our age range, yes.
And you have to go out there and do that, which looks really, really tough, holding hands a lot of the time. And tell me what you're, look at this. What are you trying to do right here?
That one is the traveling wheel and circle. So we're all trying to be nicely synchronized and move around the ice as far as we can go.
Not run into each other?
No,
make it look easy?
It's quite difficult.
Yeah, no doubt. All of us who've tried stumbling along the canal know how tough that must be.
Yeah.
But you guys are going to do some competitions this year, Quinn.
Yes, we have 3 competitions. We're going to Oakville, Kingston, and Laval. And we're hoping to actually qualify for provincials as well.
Which would be amazing,
yes,
right?
Yeah.
And what about you? You've been skating for how long?
Yeah, so I've been skating for 4 years on Starlight, but I've been skating since I was 6 individually.
Okay, this is something you can do long term, I think, because I have a colleague who still does synchronized skating, Natalie Van Roy, shout out, and on our Parliamentary Bureau, Annie Bergeron-Oliver does synchronized skating, still competes, which is really, really cool. And Mike is here from Myers wanting to support you guys with $1,000 if you want to bring that in, Mike.
Yeah, of course.
I understand that you guys are using this for more ice time and more training, which is crazy. You should probably get a party out of this. Mike, it's pretty impressive what they're able to do. I don't know if you can do those moves.
Well, no, there's no chance I would ever be able to do anything like that. But what can I say? It's nice to be back here, giving you guys a check for $1,000. Obviously, you guys are working hard towards your goals, and you guys couldn't be more deserving. So just happy to be here and participating.
Yeah, absolutely. It's amazing to see what you do. We wish you really good luck in those competitions. And I'm just going to step out and let you guys maybe end this with a little cheer, if you don't mind.
For sure.
All right, here we go. Count her down.
3, 2, 1, go. Yeah, yeah, spirit. Yeah, yeah, the what, the what, the what, the what, the what.
Okay, amazing. Love that. Good energy. You can just imagine these guys on the ice for several hours. And if you want to be a part of our Myers Automotive Group Team of the Week, just upload your video to ctvottawa.ca. We'd love to see you here. Well, coming up, the PWHL releases the schedule for its upcoming season. We'll take a look at what is in store for your Ottawa Charge. Taking one more live look through our Centennial Glass Skycam. Still a little bit of sun out there, starting to come down, but the temperature is still nice, 16 degrees, and lots of sunny days on the way after we get through tonight's frost advisory. We have all those details for you coming up.
The National Capital Region is jam-packed with incredible experiences you don't want to miss. Hey, I'm Tanea Taylor, your iHeartRadio Weekender, powered by Barrhaven Ford. Get the inside scoop on all the biggest and best events every Thursday, Friday, and Saturday on CTV, Move 100, Pure Country 94, TSN 1200, and News Talk 580 CFRA. iHeartRadio Weekenders is powered by Barrhaven Ford, Ottawa's newest and largest Ford dealership, and Ontario's #1 Ford EV dealer.
Tomorrow on CTV Your Morning Ottawa, want to up your charcuterie game? We introduce you to a local business serving up professional cheese and meat boards for your next event or party. Wake up the right way with Your Morning Ottawa starting at 6.
Hairstyles, courtesy of Salon Fiorella.
Well, here's a recap of the top stories we are following right now.
I hope that this step or this announcement yesterday can bring a little peace to the family.
A 51-year-old Gatineau man charged with first-degree murder in the death of a teenage girl whose body was found in the woods behind a Gatineau cégep back in 2011.
We're doubling down on our outreach efforts in the lower town, center town, Byward Market areas.
Ottawa Public Health forced to close its Byward Market drug consumption site after the provincial health minister did not endorse the renewal of its exemption under the Controlled Drugs and Substances Act.
But if they want to enhance security in the Hill, or if they want to include the buildings on Wellington Street as part of their security footprint, then it does make sense to close Wellington.
Well, another round of the debate over the future of Wellington Street. The federal government remains interested in acquiring the street, but Mayor Mark Sutcliffe says he does not want Wellington closed to traffic. We want to take one more look at this forecast for you. Just beautiful, although it does get cold tonight. The temperature is going to drop down close to the 0 mark in many areas, 1-2 degree. You're going to wake up to 5 degrees at about 7 o'clock, and it will warm up nicely through the day and into the next few days as well. Look at this, 19 degrees in the sunshine tomorrow. You're going to end the week with 25 and sunny. And then this first full weekend in October, pretty good for early October, 27, 28 degrees with sunshine, and we see the temperatures stay in those upper 20s into early next week as well. We like this.
Oh, yeah. I love the summer extension.
Yeah,
Bring
absolutely. We will take it. We want to check in and see what our team is working on for tonight. Stefan Keys is here ahead of the 11:30.
That's right, Patricia. Tonight we will be keeping an eye on that gas leak in Findlay Creek. We already know that the repairs shouldn't be as drastic as initially thought. Everything should wrap up tonight and not linger into tomorrow. But still, we are watching the impact of the leak and repairs, as some residents have noted traffic in the area has never been so bad. And if you can't join us tonight at 11:30, get the news anytime, anywhere at ctvnewsottawa.ca. Patricia.
All right, good stuff. Thank you, Steph. And finally, for us tonight, the puck is set to drop on the third season now already of the PWHL. And to celebrate the release of the 25-26 schedule, the Ottawa Charge teamed up with, this kind of makes sense.
It makes sense.
Beaver Tails for a video.
So I've got some friends coming into town, and I figured I'd welcome them in the most Ottawa way possible. So Beaver Tails.
That sounds awesome. Who are we going to get started with?
right, so first we got Montreal. We've got Marie-Philippe Poulin, so I think I gotta go with the Poutail.
Poutine on a beaver tail? You can't get more Quebec than that.
That is goaltender Gwyneth Phillips ordering beaver tails from goalie Logan Angers. As she heard there, she ordered a Poutail for the Montreal victoire in honor of Marie-Philippe Poulin. And for Toronto, she asked for something not fancy, something just plain, like vanilla. Yeah, if only Graham was here for this one. Yeah, the Charge will play 13 games at TD Place this season. Their season opener will be at home on November 22nd, that game against the New York Sirens.
My favorite thing is when you introduce people to the beaver tail and they don't realize you're talking about a pastry.
Right. I had an Australian friend who thought we were chopping up beavers.
Yeah, no, not
that.
the case.
That is a lot of fun watching the PWHL on ice. Synchronized skating, also pretty entertaining on ice. We had a great team of the week in here today.
There they are.
We are wishing them luck on their competitions this upcoming season and hope you all have a wonderful evening. We'll see you back here tomorrow.